Hello.
Excited to potentially have Ja'Marr back?
Yeah. Well, it's always fun when a guy like that comes back and enters the lineup. So, see how he goes this week in practice, and I'll play it by ear.
How big is it to have, if he's available to go on Sunday, have a guy like that available against a team like Kansas City?
I mean, he's one of the best in the league, and so whenever a guy like that comes back and enters your offense, it's gonna change the way defenses play you.
What's been the biggest development in his game that you've seen at this point through his second year, then from year one?
Just being able to move him around. You can kind of focus on a guy if he's just lining up number one to the boundary all the time, but you move him around, slot, field, backfield, all that good stuff. Then it's a lot harder to double him, cloud him. Just always got to pay attention to him.
The offense has been playing well over the last month. Now you could be adding Ja'Marr back. Just how does that feel, even another piece when the offense is clicking?
Just adds more explosiveness. He can score from any point on the field, and teams know that, and adds a fear element.
Do you think this offense is better now than where it was maybe a month ago when Ja'Marr went down, because you guys have kind of overcome that and gone 3-1 during the stretch?
Yeah, we've got better as the season goes. That's how the season should go. You get more reps, you play more ball together, you have more practices. You should be playing your best ball at the end of the year.
What has made the role players who have filled in his absence, and even before Ja'Marr went out, what has made the role players so effective here under your offense?
They just work really hard. They take advantage of their reps in practice. Even when they, weren't playing, they made the most out of their reps in practice, and they had mental reps. They had good quality reps all the time just to keep getting better and better, and so when their opportunity came, they were ready for it.
When they took it from the practice field to the game field, sometimes guys know what they did. It gave it validation. What does that do for you as an offense, knowing those guys can play if needed?
Got a lot of depth. I would say the most depth that we've had since I've been here. You have one or two guys go down, it's not the end of the world. We still have guys that are going to step up and make plays in big spots.
Which quarterbacks do you watch on tape around the league, and what do you think of Patrick's game?
I mean, he's the best right now. He's been playing the best all year. It's fun to watch him play. He does it a lot of different ways. There really hasn't been a lot of people like him come through the game.
What do you like about his game? Is it his style? Is it he's like Steph Curry over there? What do you like about him?
Has a lot of different ways to beat you. He can do it with his legs. He can do it outside the pocket. He can do it inside the pocket. He can do it down the field. He can do it with a quick game. He's just the whole package.
What does that do anything for you preparation-wise going through the week, or as an offense as a whole? When you know you've got another guy or an offense like that, that you'll be playing on Sunday?
No, not really.
Why not?
We're playing the defense that they have, and they have a really good defense. Coaches think about the game as a whole, and how you call plays in certain situations based on what kind of offense they have. But as an offense and as a quarterback, that's not really something I think about.
How different are they on defense this year versus last year?
New faces, some new schemes. I'm sure they'll have some change-up coverages and some new blitzes for us. So we'll have to be great in our adjustments. But they just add new players that come and do their jobs, and they're very sound.
Their GM was very upfront. The goals were to get more athletic, to get faster, to get younger. Do you notice that when you look at that defense now?
Yeah, they're flying around. They do a great job of running to the football, challenging all the throws. When they play their man, they're always around the ball. Good job making plays, so it'll be a challenge for us.
I know you said you're not facing him directly, obviously, on offense, but is there a party that enjoys playing a quarterback like Patrick? Like, are you, having that matchup between you two? I mean, it's something that, you get a kick out of. This is your third time facing each other.
Yeah, it's just fun to watch him. Whether it's on TV or on the sideline, he makes some incredible plays that it's just fun to watch.
When you're preparing for Steve Spagnuolo defense, is his as much on the table? I mean, he has a lot of things that he can draw from. Is he amongst the league leaders in that category?
Yeah, you always got to be ready for everything that he's throwing at you. He could throw it at you on any down, really. A lot of teams, they have their base down calls and they have their third down calls. He can really throw anything at you at any time, at any point of the field. And so you always got to be mentally alert when you play this guy.
Do you have a relationship with Patrick Mahomes? I know as quarterbacks sometimes you guys get to do things together?
Not too much. We've texted back and forth every now and then, but I wouldn't say anything. We haven't hung out off the field or anything like that.
Did you watch the golf match that he and Josh Allen did, and would you ever
I can't-
participate in something like that?
I can't say I watched that. No. They would. I'm not very good at golf, so you'd have to pay me a lot of money to go out there and stink it up on live TV.
When you get a matchup like this, a lot of people like to, hit it as a matchup between quarterbacks. What do you make of that whenever that's, comes about where it's, you put any two quarterbacks who are kind of good and it ends up being a quarterback battle? What are your thoughts?
Well, that's how the media likes to spin it, and it creates energy for the game and anticipation. But it's each quarterback is going against the defense, and when you have two quarterbacks like that go out and play, I think it's just great for the game and great for fans to watch high level quarterback play.
The week 17 win last year against Kansas City here. What before, during, after? What is the memory that sticks out most to you from that day?
Oh man, this feels like so long ago. I mean, that was the day we won the division, so that was exciting. But that's so far behind us now. That was almost a year ago now, so it is what it is. Last year happened. We're on to this year.
Joe, I know you're not going to overhype a single game in a season, but what do you enjoy about a matchup like this against a team like this?
They're one of the best teams in the league. Great quarterback, great defense, playmakers all over the field. We're now going to have to play them in the playoffs if we want to get to where we want to go. So this is a big game for us. Obviously, would love to win it, but we'll take it one day at a time, have good practices, and go out there on Sunday and put our best foot forward.
We heard Ted Karras yelling they have to come see us after the game on Sunday. Is that kind of just the mindset carrying through with this team right now? No matter who you face, they have to come see us? Yeah,
we're really confident in ourselves. We feel like we can beat any team in the league, and we've proven that. So we're not going to go out and be scared of anybody. We're going to go out and play our game.
Yeah, I think down 21-3 in the championship game. What turned it? Do you think that they?
We just made plays, got stops. It's a long game. When you get down like that, there's no panic on our end. That's kind of the way we've always played. We got playmakers. We can score at any time. We got a great defense, so we're never out of it.
Kind of like what Paul asked. Do you have any memory from that game when you wanted to go to the Super Bowl?
It was fun. It was a fun locker room experience. But like I said, last year was last year. New team, new faces, new year.
Fair to say that you, excuse me, like to get off to a better start on Sunday.
Yeah, we always say that, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Whatever the game ends up throwing at us is what we'll handle.
Why do you think you guys are so good? I mean, you always say, it's a long game, like you just said, and take it one play at a time, one series. But why do you think you guys are so good when you get down in games and maintain your composure? What gives you that quality?
It's just kind of how we're built. We throw it really well. Offensive line protects. When we're down like that, we don't really change the way we play. That's kind of how we play through the whole game. Our defense always settles in no matter how the game starts. They always end up making plays and getting us the ball when we need it. And we got veteran guys, mature guys that understand that we're never out of it no matter what the score is.
You faced a lot of really good defensive linemen this year. It seems like every game they got either better inside guys or edge guys. Chris Jones, he's amongst the best. What does he do? What problems does he pose for you?
Well, he's the best interior pass rusher in the league, I think, outside of Aaron Donald. But, he just creates so many problems and mismatches for you. You always got to be alert of where he's at because he can wreck the game. It feels like we're talking about the same thing every week, just like you're saying. So you always got to be aware of him. But, I'm confident in the ability of our guys inside to, give me enough time to make the plays.
I know you're not comparing years or anything like that, but is there a difference to celebratory locker rooms this year as compared to some of those last year, like Tennessee last week, compared to some of the ones that you had last year, where it's a happy locker room?
It's always the same after a win.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that feeling walking off the field after a win, knowing you're going to go see your guys in the locker room and celebrate. That's why you play the game. The plane rides home after wins, getting together after games. It's just, that's why you play.
Joe, what does it do for the team when a guy like Teddy Karras leaves the field with the fire and passion that he left it with on Sunday?
I wouldn't say that individual moment did anything for us. It's just the energy that Ted brings all the time. That's the same energy that he's bringing on a Wednesday morning this morning, getting ready for our first meeting of the week. You know, he's so consistent with his energy that that's kind of something that we haven't had on this team before, and it brings a life and energy, in the locker room that, you know, it's kind of hard to describe.
You feel like the consistency of your pocket against Tennessee, that, you know, the protecting the depth of it and the edges was as good as you've had all year?
Yeah, that film was unbelievable to watch, watching those guys go out and play the way that they did, and that's really how they've been playing for a lot of the year. So, got all the confidence in the world in those guys just because they just keep showing it. It keeps showing up on tape.
Have you adjusted your mindset because you've got more time on a consistent basis on any down?
You know, that's a good question. I wouldn't say that. I would say that it has opened up some possibilities for us in the pass game as far as pushing the ball down the field. But as far as my mindset on first and second down, I'm always going to try to find a completion early. So that hasn't changed. But I would say it's definitely opened up some possibilities for us.
Joe, what was your feeling about what happened on the kneel down? Is there a code of respect that was broken at the end of that game?
It is what it is. You know, if I was in that situation, I would try to do the same exact thing, try to win the game. So it is what it is.
I think I saw a picture of you when you were a kid with a Chiefs shirt on. Were you a Chiefs fan at that time?
I guess I must have been. I don't remember it, but I don't remember being a Chiefs fan, no.
So then I shouldn't ask you who your favorite Chiefs was.
No. Good?
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Are you preparing like you're playing Sunday?
Yes, I am, yes.
Are you for sure going to play Sunday?
We're going to see how I feel like later in the week, but I am expecting to like take some reps, yeah.
How'd you feel as last week progressed, starting from Wednesday on?
I felt good, moving around, finally picking up speed, you know, running straight line, finally get some cuts in at the end of the week, so I felt good.
Did you feel comfortable playing if they wanted you to play against Tennessee, or did you?
No, that's what I told Zach. I told him I didn't feel too comfortable yet. Not just comfortable, just, you know, wanted to give myself another week of preparation and be ready for the next game if I had a chance to.
Ja'Marr, can you walk us through exactly like what happened, the play where it happened, because it was New Orleans
Yeah.
and re-aggravated in Atlanta. So can you just tell us what the actual injury was and when it all happened?
Yeah, so I had a hairline hip fracture, and it took place in New Orleans game. I hyperextended my right leg on a touchdown. I just thought it was like maybe, you know, a glute, something regular. And then, you know, I just kept playing. But I came in on like Wednesday to lift, and I couldn't like really move. I was a little too stiff, so I told the trainers that, you know, I don't really think I should be doing too much because I can't really move. So later in that week, I did a little like preparation for the game, and, you know, I felt good at the end of the week, but during the first 2 days of the week, I didn't feel too good. So by the time the game came, you know, my adrenaline was hype, and I felt good playing. So, and then I did get hurt again, re-aggravated again, right before the half. I just felt it like pop, and, you know, I couldn't really walk, so I sat down.
And then just to follow up on that, like, how come you went back in the game? Like, did that surprise you that you were able to go back in and play?
I don't know what's wrong with me. I just my adrenaline was gone. I just didn't want to come out, so I just stayed in. So.
Is that one of those things where you get a second opinion and they kind of said, hey, this is kind of what it is, and you probably need to sit out for a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I got the second opinion for. You know, that exact reason from the Falcons game.
So when you said you felt the pop, so did it sublux? I mean, did the ball inside, did it come out of the socket?
It tried to.
It tried to?
So it didn't, but it tried to. So that was a good thing.
Ja'Marr, how do you feel right now?
I feel good, man. I'm here at practice. I'm smiling. I feel good.
What's the one thing you want to do this week that you couldn't do or didn't want to do last week?
Playing a game. I'm being honest.
But like, is there anything like cutting or?
Not really. Not really. I felt really good last week.
I just want to give myself, the right amount of time. I don't want to never rush anything. So I felt good last week running straight and making cuts. Yes, last week, I even tried to make cuts on my hurt leg hard as I could. I didn't really feel nothing. So, I felt good about it.
Was there any collateral damage to your, when the injury happened, when it tried to pop out and you got the hairline fracture, a lot of soft tissue around there, was there any collateral damage otherwise?
Like the labrum?
What's that?
Like the labrum and stuff?
Labrum or ligaments, tendons?
I was getting like 2 different sides of it, but it's not torn.
So what would the last month been like for you? I mean, has it been surprising, easy, hard? What has it been like?
It's been boring, pretty boring. For the most part, I just been at home streaming, playing the game. So, and then I finally started getting back into the facility. I was happy to see guys, happy to just come back and get out the house. So, it just made me realize that I can't take nothing for granted. Can't take everything I have in front of me for granted from now on.
Was that scary at first? I mean, you get an injury in that area, it can be like a scary. Was that something where you were really nervous about in the beginning?
I wouldn't say nervous. It's just me praying. I never really know what's going to be the outcome until me playing again. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, it's just just making sure that I'm confident in myself and coming back to the field. With just being 100.
How much does this whole experience, Ja'Marr, make you appreciate playing in the NFL?
Say it again.
How much does this whole experience that you've been through the last month make you appreciate that much, even your young age, appreciate playing in the NFL?
Yeah, it's a dream come true for me. So, in the midst of all this going on, it's just showing me how precious my life is, and my family and friends, the ones I have around me. So, just not taking nothing for granted from now on.
When you accelerate, decelerate, sink your hips, get in and out of cuts, is there anything that bothers you more than another, or are they all equal?
I feel great. I don't have no pains, no feelings right now, and nothing that I'm doing, or I wouldn't be practicing at all.
Was the timeline and the schedule kind of about what you expected?
Yeah. It's about that range. Tennessee was the planned game, but, I told Zach I want to give myself another week, so he let me do that. And, he's been taking care of me these past couple weeks.
Is it a pain thing, or is it a pain thing, or was it a fitness thing? To get more reps before you get back out there, or a little bit of both?
It's just want to be comfortable. You don't want to send somebody on the field that's not comfortable playing yet and not, 100% playing. You don't want to send, somebody out there that's not ready to play. That's all.
So you're not worried about taking hits or anything?
Not worried about that. I'm just worried about being ready to play and ready to, provide for what they need me to do.
Do you expect the practice full with the team?
I'm gonna still take my normal reps of how I've been doing last week. Me and Zach talked about it. He's gonna work with me, and we're gonna see how I feel at the end of the week to give me my reps on game day.
Ja'Marr, last year in the regular season against the Chiefs, you had more receiving yards than Patrick Mahomes had passing yards. Your reaction was pretty funny to that. You're 2-0 against the Chiefs now. How much do you look forward to facing them again on Sunday?
It's gonna be a good game. I heard they got I know they have all new, almost secondary. A lot of rookie DBs. I know Snead's back. They got new safeties too. So it's gonna be a nice matchup. See how they game plan us. See what they come up with scheme wise, and they got to play us. So we got to execute.
How much of a challenge is it in your mind for them? I mean, to try to stop a receiver like you. Obviously, you had a lot of fun with them.
I don't think I can be stopped, if I'm being honest. I'm out there playing football, playing my game. So when I'm in a rhythm, in the role, and I'm just playing, the timing is there, and I'm just playing football.
How much of the when you look at the comfort level of coming back from the injury, how much of that is long term, kind of what your career might look like, what might be in line for you down the road, and the nature of the injury? How
Right.
much of all of that kind of played into making sure you felt comfortable,
Right.
not having any long term damage?
Yeah, so that was the main part of me missing the Titans game. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to come back. I didn't know if that was too early, too fast. So I just told Zach, I want to worry about long term, and we all on the same page with the staff and the trainers too. So they all on the same page with me. We're just making sure long term wise that I'm handling everything the right way.
What did you think of how the offense played the last 4 weeks? They really kind of took off here to left.
Yeah. They've been playing pretty good, actually. They've been playing outstanding football. Joe's been having a great connection with the receivers now. That's something new, and something that I don't usually see, from the sideline. I've been watching Samaje run like a madman every down. Our O-line's looking crazy good right now. So, the defense is looking good, too. So, we have an all-around, team right now. So, everybody's providing and giving their job.
Is it exciting knowing, what you said about the team, and now they could be adding you back? Just what does that feel like?
feels like another piece to the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? I don't really feel like I'm coming in about to do crazy much. You know, I'm just coming to do my job, doing my role, and you know what I'm saying, everybody's doing the same thing.
You talk about your football family, but in this moment you were with your regular family. How did they help you just doing this downtime and not being able to play football?
Yeah, they was always with me, you know, taking care of me, making sure I'm eating and moving, even though I wasn't really moving. You know, they was always making sure I was okay. And my mom was on me about, you know, making sure that I'm back around the right time and making sure that I'm on the right foot.
Why were those guys stepping up? You know, one of them being Trent Irwin. Just kind of, what was it like seeing him, you know, taking this opportunity?
Yeah, T.I.'s been making some incredible plays, you know, last second hands, and you know, these back shoulders him and Joe been connecting on has been crazy good right now. You know, I watch T.I. every day at practice, watch him in meetings, take notes like crazy. So, you know, it's good to see him transition from practice to the game that easy. So I'm proud of him like that.
With the way the offensive line is played, how good can this offense be with you back in the mix?
I mean, we could be good, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have a quite start off as we wanted, you know what I'm saying? So it's all about getting better and hitting the right peak at the right time.
What happened in week 17 here? Why did you go off like that?
I don't know. Zach just had a hell of a game plan for us. Just made some plays when I got the ball to touch my hand.
What happened on the 3rd and 20? You remember the 3rd and 27?
Yeah, Joe threw the ball in the air and I caught it.
That's basically it.
Basically, he just was looking for me and threw it up and gave me a chance, you know.
When you watch Joe and how he's been in the pocket the last few weeks, does he look as comfortable as he was in that Week 17 game?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. You know, he looks like he has a lot, like more time back there. He's patting the ball a little bit. Not saying the receiver's not getting open, but that our line's blocking incredibly good right now. You know, Joe has the time to sit back there and pat the ball. So.
Joe's talked about your football IQ a lot, how smart a football player you are during this downtime. How much have you been preparing mentally like you were getting ready to play, or have you kept up with it?
Not really. I kind of took my mind away from football while I was going just to get my body right. You know what I'm saying? It's already a mental stake when you're at home and injured. You know what I'm saying? You already have so much to think about, future references. So, you know, I try to not think about football, think about family, think about myself, and get myself right. So that was the main thing.
Trenton told me that you were the one that told him that you were going to be out for a period of time. That's how he found out you were going to miss a couple games. Why was that a conversation you wanted to have with him?
Yeah, because I knew he was the next man up. So why not hear it coming from me than a coach? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you personally that, you know, I'm not playing. This is your moment to step up and make plays for yourself, and that's exactly what he did. And I never, not 1 second, you know, downgraded nothing he did. You know, I always wanted to pick him up and make sure, you know, we always going on the right foot.
So you spend time streaming games. What games were you playing?
Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty.
Ja'Marr, I know you've always known T's talent, but with you not in the game, he got the ball more, and he was the number one receiver for you guys. Do you feel like in those 4 games he showed everyone that he is a number 1 wide receiver in this league?
Yeah. It was funny because me and him had a little chat, you know, about me being out and me being on crutches. He told me, I'm kind of glad you're on crutches because now I get a chance to, you know, show the world what I can do with me and Joe. So I'm like, I honestly don't have a problem with what you just said, you know what I'm saying? So handle business.
Mark, he said he ran a better bench route than you did.
Who? T? We're not even going to talk about that. I was on T-Butt on the sideline about that one. So.
They were saying that the route that Trent ran for the catch was something that usually they throw to you a little bit.
I mean, we all run the same thing, but he was on X that play. He definitely ran the same route that I do. Him and Joe just was on the same page like me and Joe always is. And T.I. picked up on the same page and made a play.
Is this the most serious injury you ever had to deal with, Ja'Marr? I mean, did you was this a challenge mentally? Have you ever been in a situation like this before?
I'll probably say my second because the same way I did this is the same way I stopped playing my high school year. Hyperextended in my right leg. I had a partial tear in my PCL, so this is probably my second. So.
Is that the year y'all missed the national championship? You didn't play the state title game at all?
We lost in semis. Yep.
So did you hurt your hip before the touchdown to win the Saints game?
Yeah, I did. The first touchdown, I hurt my hip.
When you did the stand the man, was that
Yeah, stand walk, yeah.
So you really were.
So you really did hurt yourself on it, yeah.
But I didn't know that, though. I didn't know that.
So you did the dance, not knowing.
Not knowing I was hurt, correct.
Even though you were.
Even though I was hurt, I didn't. You get it, but I didn't know that.
Sure, just making sure.
I didn't
Are you
know.
gonna do that celebration again?
I wanted to. I might have to, but I don't know if I will. No.
Did you hurt the hip? Didn't the guy jump on your back in the end zone? Did you hurt the hip when the guy?
That
jumped in
was
the
the
back?
play, yeah. That
Yeah.
play.
So it was the extra body weight and everything, and
I just hyperextended my leg, and somehow it went up to my hip. Like all the pressure from my hip and joints collided,
yeah.
which forced them to get a hairline hip fracture.
So you think him on your back was a factor, though?
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Did you know about the fracture after the Saints game, or was it after the Falcons?
After the Falcons game, when I went to the radiologist and got everything taken care of, so.
Ja'Marr, have you been told that hits or contact won't have any effect on this?
No. I mean, that's what can cause it again. But I'm not thinking about it.
Obviously, one of your strengths, Ja'Marr, is explosiveness. Are you confident you're going to still be that same explosive receiver when you get back?
Hell yeah, man. I'm not even gonna let you finish that.
Ja'Marr, earlier this week, Tyler Boyd, he compared the Burrow versus Mahomes matchup to a kind of like, in his words, a Brady versus Manning. I mean, from your standpoint, playing side to side, what do you kind of make of that? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good one right there, actually. And Brady and Peyton, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely one I can say. Just knowing that both quarterbacks play very differently, have very different targets. So it's a good game and good standpoint to look at.
How good has Joe been over the last couple of weeks?
He's been good, man. He's been having new targets and still been, top 3 quarterbacks rating. So, he's only getting better.
You've had a ton of highlight plays. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite play that you've had so far in your career?
Chiefs game. That out route I took for like 60, I think. I look real fast on that. I didn't know I was running that fast.
Is there anything you saw from the sidelines watching the game last Sunday? Is there anything that surprised you or something you said, wow? Or?
I seen a couple of stuff. I had a chance to call maybe like 2 plays. I called one of T bench routes. I actually I didn't call the play in, but I was next to Troy calling the same play that they called in, and that converted to T.I.'s 3rd down. So that was kind of funny.
That was your call?
Yeah, but I didn't put it in the headset. I was just talking to me and Troy. That was funny. So I seen a couple of things that we could have did that I seen myself in. Yeah.
You feel refreshed mentally since you've been out a month, and you feel that will help you as you move forward?
What do you mean, like plays-wise or just football period?
You haven't been. You said you took a break from football.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good for you?
I feel like it's good for me. I mean, I play football all day, every day. I'm in meetings all day, every day. So, I mean, why not take a little break? I don't see what's the problem in it.
So do you feel like instead of a bye week, it's been a bye month kind of thing?
No. I just been at home.
Is rehab worse than practice?
Honestly, it's been feeling like COVID to me. I just been trapped at home.
What do you think about Jefferson's catch?
One-handed?
Yeah.
That guy is unstoppable right now. Need him to slow down a little bit, though.
Can you catch it?
Is it a chance? I don't know. Honestly, it could be possible. Would I be the first to do that, though?
Do what?
Get to 1,000. How many games did I miss? 4?
Well, you can get the what? You get 605.
I got 7. How many games got left? 6?
6 left.
6 left? I should have a chance.
Is that when you won 1,000? Is that kind of a goal now?
1,000 every year is a goal for me now. Yeah.
Ja'Marr said that he came to you last week and said that he wasn't ready. How rare is that for a 22-year-old to say, hey, coach, I need another week?
Yeah, just good communication. But again, like all the things we mentioned, it was really good to get him out there last week in practice so that he can start to see himself do it. And then this week we'll just take it, again, day to day, get him out there today and see how he feels tomorrow and see if he's got a chance to play on Sunday.
He said the plan is about the same amount of reps as last week. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
What's the communication process when a player's going through injury like? What is that like from your perspective, getting a feel of what they can and can't do?
Yeah, talking with the trainer, talking with Joey in the weight room, and then talking to the player. Just, again, taking all the information in from the medical side of things and then having the personal conversation with the player just to make sure we're always on the same page.
What's the personal, not specifically to Ja'Marr, but how do you approach the personal conversation side?
Privately.
No, but like not with Ja'Marr specifically, but what do you look for? Is there anything specifically you're looking for in a conversation like that?
Everything's different. Every injury's different. Every player's different. Time missed is different. What you're being asked to do in a game is different. So all those conversations are truly always different scenarios.
Zach, how important, it may seem obvious, but how important is it to make sure that when he gets back on the field, he's 100% and can do everything he was capable of doing before the injury?
Yeah, I mean, part of that will be impossible to know until you see him do everything, see it in a game-like atmosphere. And so, again, we'll just do our best to make sure he's comfortable and that we're comfortable with the scenario.
How different does the Chiefs' defense look this year to you?
A little bit different personnel. Some of the corners, they've got, 3 rookie corners that have played in there. But again, it's Spags has done a great job for a long time. They've got their things they believe in. Again, everybody evolves over the course of a year. The last time we saw them, but it's a great defense. They do a great job playing aggressively, putting pressure on people, and so again, it's always a difficult challenge to play that defense.
What do you feel like they did to take Ja'Marr away or kind of limit Ja'Marr in the championship game compared to what they did in Week 17?
It's just a different game. The way the game played out differently. So again, it's a new year, and we'll just see how it goes this Sunday.
The Chiefs GM spoke all offseason about wanting to make it a faster, more athletic, younger defense. Do you notice that? Can you feel that when you watch them on tape now?
Yeah, I mean, I thought last year's defense was really good. So this year's defense is pretty good as well. Again, different pieces, and they do a great job with their technique, with their disguises, with their effort, the urgency they play with. It's a really good defense, and they've played really well this year.
Are there certain markers throughout the season, regular season, that can tell a coach whether or not they're a championship caliber team?
I think that's difficult to say. You just want to continue to see improvement every step of the way from your team. That's what I've seen. Even in losses, there's things you take from that will make your team better. And so again, it's just that's all we look for. Is it's hard to pinpoint. Are you a championship level team? That's impossible to say. There's no metrics you can put on that right now. It's just, are we continuing to improve? Do our guys have confidence in what we're asking them to do? Are we asking them to do the right things? Are we getting our guys as healthy as possible for each of these games? And those are really the questions we spend our time asking ourselves.
Just the volume of schematics and looks that Spagnuolo has in his repertoire, his inventory, is it amongst most in the league by one guy? Do you have more than a lot?
That's hard to say. That's hard to say. I can't go through my head right now and picture all the teams we've played against. They do a good job seemingly limiting explosives. That's probably part of how they want to play because they've got an explosive offense, and some of the teams that are usually like that, they want to take away that and make you go the length of the field.
What impresses you the most over his great career of Andy Reid? What impresses you the most? A couple of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I think he's genuine. I think his players seemingly love playing and interacting with him. He gets the most out of them. His teams are always top-notch, competitive. He's certainly involved schematically over his time. Me coming up and he was in Philly, I was big West Coast. I write Fox 2 double go. I don't see them running much of that anymore. It's a willingness to evolve to what your players can do well and getting the most out of them and kind of being cutting edge that way. And those are things he's always done. People have always stolen their stuff over the last 7-8 years, things that Kansas City does. They're known for that. We have a concept called Arrowhead because we took it from them years ago, and so I think those are the things that he's really put his thumbprint on around the league.
Speaking of evolving, do you think your offense has evolved over the past month with Ja'Marr out?
I don't know. We've had a chance to utilize guys different ways, maybe than you would have otherwise done. So guys have had an opportunity to step up. I wouldn't say it's a lot of new stuff we're doing. I think we're getting good efficiency out of the run game. We have a lot of confidence in that. Our protection has really done a nice job for us, giving Joe time, and the guys are making plays when their numbers are called. We're not drawing up new plays. There's always tweaks. There's always game plan things you're going to put in, but we believe in the stuff we believe in, and our guys have done a great job executing it.
Would you want to play Ja'Marr if he has to be on a snap count, or would you rather him be
Yeah, we'll just see how it goes. Again, we haven't even got through Wednesday practice yet, so we'll see how he does today, and then we'll make those determinations as we get closer to the game.
Has Mason made it through a concussion protocol?
He's not fully through the protocol yet. He can't do that without having practiced.
Zach, it feels like, we compare this year to last year a lot, and I know you guys don't want to do that in a lot of situations and similarities, but this team has grown a lot this year. You're at the same record at the same point as last year. How much has this team grown this year, and where have you seen the most growth, and what aspects of this team?
I mean, you've heard me up here every step of the way say we've got a great team, and even when we lost some games early, we could kind of see through the fog of what was coming at us and the level we were going to play at, because you'd seen it. Things we hadn't taken care of business fully, so it's no surprise that we've kind of got on this run right now. You got to reset yourself for this game and just focus on your next opponent, not worry about what you've done the last couple of weeks, but. There is carryover with the confidence. Guys have confidence in themselves. Guys have confidence in those around them. So that gives us coaches, a lot of confidence to do our best to put them in a great position, knowing that we've got great players that, as long as we're giving them a shot, they've got a great chance to make it work for us.
Just to circle back on that means are you expecting him to practice today?
Yes.
Zach, you mentioned the protection and how it's just gotten better. And so when you look at the offensive line, what's really impressed you about kind of their evolution, and how much fun do they just look like they're having together as a unit?
They're having a great time together. You see them. What was it? Monday morning, I was in here. They're all sitting around their lockers with Joe. Pretty early in the morning. They must have just gotten their lift in. They eat dinner together. I sat in there on Saturday night, and his linemen were sitting in there eating dinner together. So they enjoy each other's company. I think that's genuine. Again, another thing I've said all year, I think they've been playing well in protection for a good part of the year. I don't care what the numbers say. We just watch the tape and evaluate the tape, and we've had confidence in them all year, and I think the stats are starting to even out. That would show you that. Not that matters to us, but we've got a lot of confidence that we can play how we want to play.
What kind of problems did Chris Jones present?
All of them. Yeah.
You guys have played some pretty good three techs. What makes him different than some of the other guys? Joe called him the best interior pass rusher in the league aside from Aaron Donald.
Yeah. We played some really good ones this year. We really have. He's up there because he's quick, he's smart, he's physical, he finishes at the quarterback, he's really good in the run game. He can turn it on and be a big force. So again, it's a tough task, and part of playing the Chiefs is they got good players around him too up front, particularly. So, yeah, he's 95's. He's got your attention, but they've also got other players that are really good. They've drafted up there with some young players, and so it's a really good defense, and they get our attention.
They said a point of emphasis was to increase the team speed. You noticed that on tape? Are they faster defense?
They're always fast. You always feel like every pick that they make is speed. So yeah, it certainly stands out on tape. That's a big reason why they've got great players, but they're really explosive on offense. They stretch you with speed. They're always acquiring speed. Yeah, that's noticeable.
Defensively as well, though, they were wanting to upgrade that. Defensively, team speed is big as well. Yeah.
They're a good defense.
What do you remember about the conversation in the headset and the decision to go for it on 4th and 1 from the goal line in Week 17?
I don't know that there was much discussion. Those are decisions you got to make every week, and they've proven time and time again that if there's a second on the clock, they're gonna try to put themselves in a position. They've done a great job of that. If you can eliminate that, it's helpful. I've got full trust in our defense to be able to come up big in those moments. It would have been exciting to see them get that opportunity last week. I know they were excited for it, and but it was just one of those moments you feel like you had to do. We had some good calls. There was penalties called. Guys might have had a chance to get open had there not been some of those, and it worked out for us.
Seems to be a trend in college football this year in Power 5 where a lot more head coaches are going for it, going down regardless of field position. Is that something you've caught wind of?
No.
You have to coach more aggressively against the Chiefs, just knowing you got to post a number. Do you view it that way?
I don't necessarily say that that's true just because of who it is. We have those discussions over the course of the week. Again, we've got a lot of confidence in us as a team, and so I know it's always made of the other team and what they can do, and that's you got to take that into account. But at the same time, our guys have done a great job rising to these challenges, and so we've got a lot of confidence in them, and that's got to play into the decisions you make over the course of the game, or whether you're going for it or kicking it, or whatever those entails. We'll have in-depth conversations as the week continues to go there.
How important is it, Zach? And you obviously don't want to fall behind again to the Chiefs, but in both games last year you did. One thing Joe Burrow was saying is that you guys don't change who you are,
No.
even when you're down a touchdown or two.
Yeah.
How is that unique, or how rare is that?
I'll be honest with you. Part of that, to me, there's confidence in our team that no matter the situation, we can find a way to get back in it and take a lead. Part of those were the experiences you learned your first 2 years here. When we were in a lot of those games and they got further away from us because maybe changed your style and you felt like you had to start doing something completely different, and there's still plenty of time on the clock, and so you're just trying to picture the number of possessions you still got left. If the game can play out how you're hoping it continues to, and so those were a lot of lessons I learned my first 2 years here of just kind of how to manage the game at that point and allow yourself to get back in it. If it seems like it's out of hand, there's still plenty of time. You watch games every week where teams are down, but not out, and they find a way to get back. And part of that is just being patient and understanding you got plenty of possessions left. We played the Chargers last year. I think we're down 22-0, 24-0, whatever it was. We didn't change one thing. We kept running the ball. And then one score at a time, you get yourself back in it. So those are lessons that we've learned through our experiences here.
Now, do you and or the team ever get kind of annoyed with the insinuation that comes with the Bengals have a tough schedule? Kind of the flip side of what that actually says.
No, not annoyed by that. But at the end of the day, we just have too much confidence in ourselves to really worry about that. Yes, you focus on your opponent, you create a game plan, you have to worry about their personnel and understand where their strengths and weaknesses are. But at the same time, take a step back and say, okay, if we put our guys in great position, we've got as good of players as anybody in the league. And so we've always got a chance in every game, no matter if it's here or there. And so I think at the end of the day, that's just what it comes down to. It's not annoyance. It's just making sure we all understand what we're about and what other teams have to worry about when they play us.
Zach, is there anything that sticks out from the AFC Championship last year after the game, a special memory? I'm not sure if you lit up a cigar with the team at all. I don't think you did, but just any kind of special memory from the aftermath of that when you were allowed to soak it in for a few moments?
I think having my dad, my sons in the locker room, I don't think they were allowed to be, but they were. So that was cool because you hadn't had that, because of COVID. So those cool moments, getting to see those kids in the locker room with cigar smoke in their hair. I'm sure Mom was not happy about that, but those are, I got a picture from that. Jermaine Pratt took a picture for us. Of me and my sons, my dad, and so I've still got that. So that's a moment that stands out for me personally.
Is that a picture you have up in your house now?
Might just be in my phone, to be honest with you, but I've got it.
So does it feel like more than a month? I mean, this is the first time all year getting back-to-back home games. How great does that feel to finally getting your place back in the jungle?
We love that. We love playing here. I love running out of this tunnel and being in front of our fans. Comfortable is not the right word. It's just a familiar. We've got a lot of confidence playing here. We take a lot of pride in playing on the road also, but there's just something about playing in front of your home base that's we take a lot of pride in, and it does feel like we haven't played here in a long time. It's felt that way several times this year. It feels like we just go on the road for a long time, then we come back home, and our guys are excited about that.
Is there a point in either game, or both games, I guess, the regular season game and the championship game, where you said, okay, the worm's starting to turn, here we come? Was there anything that comes to mind as you reflect back on those games?
It's just finding a stop. If a game gets to that point, having to play on offense that gets you back into it, finding a stop on defense to where you can just regain some momentum and then just take it into the next drive, offense and defensively. And that's all that this team does, really. Unfortunately, we've put ourselves in that situation a lot of times over the last 2 years, and we always find a way out of it. So there's no panic. That's a good thing. That's what you do take from that experience is there's no panic from our guys, and they know the recipe. So again, we don't ever want to put ourselves in that, but there's a confidence we can play in any type of game.
When Mahomes gets out of the pocket, left or right, the field doesn't really shrink for him. I mean, how rare is that for a quarterback that can use the left field no matter where he's at? And what kind of challenge is that for you?
It's a big challenge. It's hard to replicate. Because you're right, he can make any throw from any body position to any spot in the field, and A lot of things that are QB no-nos, he's going to do. And make him work because he can, because he's different than athletically and physically than a lot of people that play the position. And so, as DBs, you got to just be on it every second of the play and be relentless up front, stick with him. And, of course, everybody knows that. That's everyone's plan. That's why the great quarterbacks are great quarterbacks, because they find a way to get it done.
What are some of those QB no-nos that you see him kind of do that work?
Well, I mean, throwing back across your body, across the middle of the field, him and Kelly. I mean, he does it, and he makes it work, and turns into explosives, touchdowns for him. I've seen it a million times happen. So, again, there's always the exception to the rules. Just because you teach that way in high school and college and entry-level quarterbacks in the league doesn't mean it applies to everybody.
Yeah, see a guy that if you're teaching a young quarterback the art of quarterbacking mechanics, watch Patrick Mahomes, I guess.
Well, these guys, they just, some of the play styles have evolved. All the different arm angles and that he can throw with is really impressive. Does a great job with his eyes. And so, again, there's next level stuff that a lot of these guys, Joe included, Patrick's one of them certainly, that they can do that not everybody has the freedom to try.
Does he always have Travis Kelce as the guy, and how do you limit his touches?
Everybody goes in with a plan to limit his touches. He's got a great knack. I don't know their playbook. I've never been in that system, but there is an awareness there where he and Patrick are on the same page of probably breaking off a route, finding the zone. That really takes chemistry and experience to the next level. And so he's going to get touches. That's difficult to cover all the time. And on top of that, they've added great players around him. They've acquired guys that they've drafted. I know Mecole's out, but there's a lot of guys that they've invested in, that they've added to the mix, that have just come in and haven't skipped a beat and allowed them to be as productive as possible. They got a good stable of backs as well, and they've done a great job with that offensive line. So again, just everybody that they've brought into the building there on offense has turned out to be productive for them, and that's a product of them believing in the system, understanding the system. The quarterback probably helping everybody elevate their level of play as well, and they get the most out of those guys.
Is it more challenging to prepare for an offense like that that's led by Mahomes? You still have a star in Kelce.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of guys sprinkled in.
Sure. I mean, they've consistently been, top 3 offense in the NFL for, I'll call it 5 years. I don't know. But this year they're at the tops of everything: touchdown passes, explosives, efficiency, all that kind of stuff. They're always up there. They've got a great offense. They've got a Hall of Fame head coach, Hall of Fame quarterback, Hall of Fame tight end. They got a lot of good pieces over there, and they do a great job with them.
Andy Reid's creativity, particularly low red zone creativity, is pretty unusual. How difficult do you think that was when you first started bucking the trend on that? I mean, not a lot of people did that. I mean, he was kind of a pioneer in that regard.
I know for us that comes from just confidence in your guys of trying new things that maybe seem a little out there, maybe haven't been put on tape yet. I'm sure they've been put on tape in some era. It's just not. So that's just confidence in your guys, and that's what you can see that they have in their guys.